Well, Team Colombia trying to pull off a monster upset. Ruben Galindo, the latest out of their bullpen, 22-year-old who pitched in one game, 1 2/3 scoreless, and is on to face 8-9-1 in the Team USA lineup. Now, John, this lineup, they scored those 9 runs in the first inning against Canada, 12 runs total in that game, 12 runs the rest of the tournament.
No, it's definitely not been clicking other than those 2 innings, and then you could talk about the first game against Great Britain. But, you know, this team, and again, you putting in guys hoping that they're able to hit mistakes and get it going. This team's lineup on paper, if it was mid-season, it would be a different story, but it's not. So you're just trying, as Mark DeRosa is trying to find guys that maybe could get clicking early, and that's why you never know on what kind of offense you're going to get at this time of the year.
2-0 on Will Smith. Struck out his first time. And now ball 3. A pretty good problem to have for Mark DeRosa when looking at deciding who to start at catcher. He's got JT Realmuto and Will Smith, and they've gone back and forth in the 4 games. Second start for Smith, who homered against Mexico on Sunday. In this 5th inning, he starts with a 4-pitch walk. Tying run aboard, go ahead run at the plate. Trey Turner. Got the nice kind of second leadoff man here with Turner's speed out of the 9 spot. Strike. One of the most exciting, well-rounded players in baseball. He's got the power. Only Tatis higher slugging the last 3 years among shortstops. He gets on base. And you know about his speed. The power component, really the underappreciated part of Trey Turner's game, because you look at him and you watch him run and it's like, oh, he's a speedster that puts it in play. But he's got thump too.
He does, and it's a little bit of a, I don't want to say a curse, but because he has all those attributes, the swing and miss comes into play a little bit more for the kind of speed he has. That's why I can't wait for this year to see.
That one gets away, and Smith read it well. He's into scoring position.
With the new rules and the new bases and his ability to run, and analytically they kind of squashed the run because of the way the game was played. Now that has to change. So if he can get on base more, he's going to steal 70 bases in his sleep. And that is going to be a component now that we'll see more in baseball than ever before. The games are going to be faster, there's going to be more action, and there's going to be more stolen bases. And so if he can cut down on those neutral counts, 3-2, 2-2, where he wants to make something happen via power, and he gets on base, that's like hitting a double.
Yeah, because you're so right. It's not the aggressiveness early in the counts that hurts him. That's fine. There's a lot of damage on those first couple pitches. It's the chases on the breaking pitches. Correct. Down and away in those neutral counts. And he's still been on enough to lead the majors in stolen bases since he became an everyday player 5 years ago. What does he do now with the running game loose? Reins off across baseball. So old Dodger teammate at second and Will Smith. Here comes a 1-2 pitch from Galindo. And Turner down swinging for the first out of the 5th. So now it's Mookie Betts. This is the part of the order that got it done to score Team USA's first run. In the 3rd inning, Betts and Trout back-to-back. There were bases empty, 2 out in that situation. And both those guys opposite field, base hits to make it 1-0. Three-time MVP on the right, 2018 MVP on the left. MVP runner-up his first season with the Dodgers. He was back in the MVP conversation last year as he was healthy again. And somewhat quietly, 35 home runs for Mookie Betts last year was a new career high, even more than the MVP season. He's ahead 1-0.
Oh, he's another guy too for the Dodgers that should have a lot more stolen bases than maybe in years past.
Those 3 years in LA, he's had 10, 10, and 12. But in Boston, he was stealing 20, 25 bags a year. Smith off second. The 1-0 to the plate. Ball 2 on Betts.
Well, I'm guaranteeing if he stays healthy, he'll be well over 25.
More action in the bullpen. 2-0. Strike on the corner. How much sleep would you be losing as a pitcher right now going into this season, thinking about these different wrinkles coming?
Well, in spring training, the first thing I'm doing is working on my slide step. It's working on my tempo. And you better know that, just walking guys like we got used to seeing in the league is going to be a bigger deal now. The way the game is played, and philosophically, if teams don't change, then they're going to be behind. Meaning if they play the same way and think they're going to get the same results, they're going to get passed by. So to me, this is all why spring training is important, and a little interruption here with the WBC for these guys.
Ripped to left field, base hit Mookie Betts. Dino Ebel stops Will Smith. Betts takes second on the throw, and the go-ahead run is in scoring position. Betts running the bases aggressively.
If this would have been later in the game, they might have sent Mike Trout, but it's early enough, and they've got a lineup that could put the ball in play behind him. Great decision to holding him. Bad throw, which allowed Mookie Betts, and I say bad throw, it's too high. And as soon as he saw it release out of the outfielder's hand, he knew he could go right to second with no cutoff being able to take place.
Well, the Dodger hitter, a Dodger base runner, and a Dodger third base coach there putting that whole thing together. And now you've got an Angel and Mike Trout with a go-ahead run in scoring position, and another pitching change coming for Colombia. Cabrera makes the call down to the bullpen. Back in a moment.
Have a little bit better outing than he had the first time out against Team Mexico. Daniel Bard, a great story, hard thrower. And he went to work on his mechanics and tried to get the ball back out of his hand fluid and easy.
Top of the order here for Colombia. It's Oscar Mercado. Doubled and scored their first run. Talk about Daniel being a great story. This is somebody who had it all at the start of his career. He was one of the top relievers in baseball with the Boston Red Sox for his first few seasons before he developed a devastating and what looked like career-ending case of the yips. Couldn't get the ball over the plate anymore. Tried and tried and tried for years to get back, but it just became so much mentally, mostly, where he said, I can't do this anymore. And so he got a job here in Arizona, passing along the things he learned in his own battle with the yips to minor leaguers and to pros in Arizona's system. So they didn't have to go through the same thing he did. And so they had answers to get through what he never could. And while he's helping these young guys out, he's playing catch with them, having conversations in the outfield. And one of them one day said, I think you still got it. I think you could do this. He kept on playing catch, and then he got on a mound, and he said, maybe I will give this a try. And he found that he could put it where he wanted it. And he said, you know what? If I don't give this one more shot, I'm going to regret it. And so in 2020, he did. He tried again to make it back all these years later. He makes the Colorado Rockies and turns himself again into one of the top closers in the game.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you could put a bunch of words that describe it, and you said it well. I mean, perseverance, all kinds of things that make for a great story. And I told him, man, keep going, until they take the jersey off your back. But the fact that he's out here and pitching for WBC, can you imagine if somebody said and asked him, "You going to play for Team USA?" He's like, "What?"
That's 7 years between pitches in the major leagues. This is a leadoff walk here in the 5th, and so just like that, Colombia puts the tying run on.
One thing I will say, though, about hard-throwing relievers and the spring training routine that they have to go through, it takes them a little while to get connected with their mechanics. And when you leave spring training as a reliever, you better have it going, because you don't have the chance to really get better as the year goes on. You can't throw a bunch of bullpens like a starter can. So you've got to have your work kind of confined to simplistic mechanics and know that you can throw strikes. And you're just seeing here the first couple outings for him has been a little awkward in being able to pound the zone for strikes. And that's what the USA relievers are going to have to do to finish this game out.
Johnny and Bard's case is not just, hey, figure it out for opening day. It's, hey, figure it out to go pitch at Coors Field in a couple weeks. Faces Harold Ramirez. 0 for 2 and 2 for 13 in the WBC. Colombia needs more out of this guy, who hit 300 for Tampa Bay last year. Mercado at first. He's got good wheels. And Ramirez at the plate in his first WBC. On a 1-1 from Bard. Ramirez lifts it to left. Got it off the end of the barrel, though. Kyle Schwarber will drift on and put it away.
In this inning, if you're Colombia, you got to take some chances, and I would think stealing a base here off of Bard. He's got a longer delivery to home plate. They've got to find ways to score some runs. So maybe even in this at bat with Urshela struggling a little bit, get the runner moving. Maybe Urshela hits the ball while the runner's going. Got to try to do something if you're Team Colombia right here.
Yeah, in Urshela's case, probably the biggest name on this roster currently, and he's 0 for 12 in the WBC. There goes Mercado. Smith's throw right there, but he's under the tag. Anderson had the tag waiting for him. The initial call from Jairo Mendoza is that he's safe, and Mark DeRosa and the Team USA staff going to double check his work.
I think this is a great slide. I'm not so sure that he was able to put the tag before that hand got under the slide. Watch the slide, the short hop, and then he picks it up and gets the tag down. It's going to be close. It's where the tag goes. Watch the hand, the bounce. It may have gotten him.
Great pick by Tim Anderson, too. Coming at it from a different angle than he's used to, playing second base. Will Smith saying, wait a minute.
Whenever there's a short hop, it's the perception the umpire doesn't have the luxury of slowing this thing down, right? All he sees is the short hop, the glove goes up, and then it comes down, and tough angle. But I think they're going to overturn this.
And it is the same replay format as during the Major League regular season. They're talking with New York.
The other thing is he put his knee down. When you know somebody's sliding in head first, you can have the luxury of putting your knee down. And he gave him a very small part of the bag to get to with his hand.
As long as you're in the process of taking that throw, making the play. Fair game what Tim Anderson did. So in these WBC umpiring crews, there are 2 current big league umpires and then 2 international umpires. You may notice Bill Miller, the veteran right there, overturning the call. Mercado's out. And a huge overturn call right there. How about Mark DeRosa getting the challenge right?
Well, every club relies on somebody down in the clubhouse getting the view, because you got 20 seconds. Unless it's super obvious, you're going to rely on the information that comes back up to you.
Pitch was a strike on Urshela. 0-1. Fouled off, and it's 0-2. Just like that, Bard's a pitch away from this inning ending.
I tell you, Bard did a great job that we didn't comment on how quickly he did get the ball to home plate to give Smith an opportunity to throw him out.
Josh Smith. So you're saying earlier, given the rule changes coming, you'd probably be spending a lot of time working on getting that ball to the plate quickly this spring.
No doubt. Not everyone could do it. So it's not going to be for everybody. And, you know, Pitch was one of the greatest of all time